EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay. How you feeling today, Larry?
I'm
feeling
feeling
good?
great. I'm feeling great.
How's the day been going so far?
Everything's been going real well.
Yeah? Exciting?
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. So, what did it feel like? How did you feel when you found out you were going to be on the cover of Madden NFL 10?
I was excited, to be on the cover and to be on the cover with a tremendous player and in person like Troy Polamalu was just icing on the cake for me.
So you obviously mentioned Troy being the other half of the cover. So it feels like, at the Super Bowl, you guys kind of got a little rivalry going on. So he was at our photo shoot. He was saying if you guys played Madden that it'd probably end like the Super Bowl. What do you think?
I don't know about that. I'm gonna give it a good go. He probably doesn't have a chance to play. He's got a family and kids and stuff. So he probably doesn't have much practice. I have a lot more time.
That's good. So obviously with you, it's also special this year because you're only the second person to grace the cover of both NCAA football and now Madden. So what does that feel like?
Well, that's great. I remember the excitement I had coming out of college and getting the cover and then doing it again now as an NFL player. It means that I'm moving in the right direction. I'm playing at a high level and I want to continue to go at that.
So the theme this year for Madden NFL 10 is fight for every yard. Can you kind of talk about what that means to you? If maybe your coach tells you that you guys got to fight for every yard. What does it mean to you when you hear that?
Well, it just means that every time you have the opportunity, you have a ball and you see a defender, you drop your head and you push and you fight and you scratch because you never know what's the difference of the game is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be two inches or 2 yards that you're going to need to get that first down or get across that goal line and change the outcome of the game. So I think that's what I'm thinking about when my coach says fight for every yard.
So obviously, the Madden team, as we were thinking about, who really embodies fight for every yard, who deserves to be on the cover, it was yourself and obviously Troy. But there were some other candidates as well. We did a campaign on the website, kind of there can only be one, and counting them down. Obviously, it ended up being two. But some of the other candidates were Ed Reed from Baltimore, All Day Adrian Peterson, Matt Castle, the new Kansas City Chief, Peyton Manning, DeMarcus Ware, Brandon Jacobs, and then Big Ben Roethlisberger. So taking you and Troy out of the equation for a second, if you were me and you were picking the cover athlete, who would you have went with? Who fights for every yard?
Well, you can't go wrong with any of those guys. I mean, Adrian Peterson is unbelievable and what he's able to accomplish in his 2 years. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. DeMarcus Ware, 20 sacks last year. I mean, they got so many guys that you can go pick from. Ed Reed, I mean, you can't say enough about him and what he's able to accomplish every year, interceptions for touchdowns and things like that. So any of those guys you pick, you can't go wrong with.
Agreed. So who's the best Madden NFL player in your locker room?
No question, Edgerrin James. He actually has the video game set up in his locker. So, I mean, if you want to come play him, you got to come to his locker, into his area, into his house. So he definitely is the best in our locker room.
So you mentioned earlier today that anytime you're on the cover of Madden, it's obviously prestigious, and it means that you're an elite player in the league. So given that you've kind of established yourself in that role for the last couple of years, who's a young wide receiver in the NFL that's sort of up and coming that you think kind of reminds you of yourself?
Well, I like the young man from Kansas City. He's going to be a phenomenal player, Dwayne Bowe. He's put together 2 good campaigns so far, and I think usually your third year you see like. Some of the Braylon Edwards, guys like that, their third year, they've always had that big breakout year. And I think Dwayne Bowe, he's got an outstanding coach, and Ty Haley coming out there to coach him is going to get the best out of him, and I think he's going to have a big, big year.
So last year, obviously, you guys made the run to the Super Bowl, and I think a lot of people weren't expecting the Cardinals to get there. Then even as the game was going on, I'd say in the first half, especially after the big play at halftime, I think people sort of counted you guys out. And then when you get that 60-plus yard touchdown to break away up the middle and take the lead in the fourth quarter, what's going through your mind at that moment?
Well, I'm just thinking, just hopefully we can hold on and close this out because we're so close. This is what we've all been working for so long to get to this point, and I really wanted it, but the Steelers are a great champion. They played a tough game. They made the plays when it counted, and they deserve to win.
Do you Twitter?
No.
Do you know any of the guys in the locker room that are Twittering?
No, this is like one of the first times I've heard about it. Actually, was coming out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Shaq has like 1 million followers, so
Wow.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Something to think about, I guess. So the Madden curse. Everybody, likes to talk about some of the fates that have fallen upon past cover athletes. Some people believe in it, some people don't. What's your thought?
I think it's different this year. I mean, there's 3 things that are different that have never been before. First, John Madden is retiring. That's unique. This is the first time in history there's been 2 guys on the cover, offensive defensive player. And also, you guys never had anybody with long hair on there, and you have 2 on the cover this year, so that's unique. Just reverse the curse this year.
Reverse the curse. I like that. God, can we use that?
If you want to.
All right, I like that. Reverse the curse. All right. So a lot of times when we have our big tournaments, I mean, we have guys that are just diehard Madden fans. They make a career out of it. They literally make money acting as you on the field. And a lot of times they'll say, "Hey, look, I'm in the zone. I can't be stopped." And so when you think about 546 yards, 30 receptions, 7 TDs in the postseason, what's going on with you, man?
Great players around me and great coaches. Nice schemes, and I was just doing what I was coached to do. To be honest with you, I was fortunate.
I mean, Jerry Rice, you're breaking Jerry Rice kind of records. Like that's.
Yeah, that's to ever hear your name be mentioned in the same breath with Jerry Rice is you're moving in the right direction.
No doubt. Your favorite video game memory growing up?
Anytime I was throwing the ball deep to Randy Moss, and I had the Vikings on my team, that was my squad growing up. And whenever I was throwing it deep and letting Moss do his thing, I was in heaven.
Did you do the Dante? Did you do
the
roll?
Keep a roll on?
Keep rolling?
Yeah, always. That was fun to watch him do that.
Thoughts on John Madden retiring? Obviously, he's going to be still very involved in the game, but taking a step back from the broadcasting. What are your thoughts on John?
Well, sad to see him go because he represents all the good in football. From having an illustrious career as a coach to putting together a Hall of Fame broadcasting career. I mean, he made a lot to this game, and his insight and his knowledge are unparalleled. But now it gives him a chance to kind of go back to the drawing board and make his game that much better. So future generations are going to thank him for that.
So the Madden community, again, obviously very excited to see you on the cover along with Troy, and they're already thinking, well, okay, now what? You had Favre last year who was retired at the time. Now you've got 2 guys on the cover. Prediction, Madden NFL 11 cover. Let's hear it.
Ooh, it's a little early to predict that. We got to see how the season goes. Catch me around mid-season, and I might have a prediction for you.
All right, maybe you'll Twitter it to us.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
You might want